Okay, I'm going to take you outside. I'm actually having to shoot this section for a second time because I must have hit the camera and it went to photo mode, so it shut the video off. So my neighbours are going to think I'm an absolute nut because I'm going to be repeating exactly the same as I did about an hour ago. So anyway, we'll head outside. Okay, as you can see, the Studebaker's now outside under my carport. One of the other things I've been looking at over the last couple of weeks is finally getting some bloody radiator hoses for this engine so I can set this up properly. There's a nice 48-inch braided hose with 4 clamps from a supplier in Queensland for, I think it's about $80. So that means I can actually get bottom and top hoses out of that 148-inch length, which would be great. I've just got an old bottom hose sitting there as a top hose at the moment, just to see what it'll look like. But yeah, as you can see, I haven't really done anything to the truck. You know, she's just sitting there, can't do anything at the moment. But yeah, I still get blown away by how low it's sitting since I channeled the cabin over the chassis and dropped everything down. It's just made a heap of difference. It looks so tough. And yeah, I still haven't touched that front suspension yet, and that's, you know, that's looking good. If it was to stay like that and I had a slightly bigger tyre on the front, I'd be wrapped. So yeah. So we'll move around here. This is the extension I was telling you about. I've now moved the classic car that was under the carport there, where the Studebaker's sitting, into here. It's a very expensive and very, very sought after car. People would not hesitate to come down your driveway to steal it. That is now in this shed, locked away. But yeah, I ended up buying this garage. Found it on eBay. It was 8 metres long by 4 metres wide. Unfortunately, I couldn't run an 8 metre shed here, simply because I needed some distance. I hope I can pick all this up in the camera for you. I needed some distance between the front of the garage and the house wall. The car does fit between that gap, between the edge of the brickwork and the garage. I've had my Ford Territory SUV through there, no problem, and that is slightly larger. It's slightly wider than the Studebaker, so there's no problems actually backing it in and getting it into that garage. But in order to do that, I've had to leave 19 feet of distance between the back of the house wall and the front of the garage. So we've got 19 feet there. The Studebaker at its maximum length is 15 feet. So that's good. With the shed itself, I've only been able to run 6 metres of the 8 metres because I couldn't push it any further back either. On my back fence line there, on my side of the fence, we have the main sewer pipe, so if anything ever goes wrong and the local Board of Works have to come in and dig up the pipe, if there's something sitting over the top of it, they've got the right to remove it. They don't have to reinstall it, or you've got to pull it down yourself. So in order to save myself a lot of hassles, I've just reduced the size of the shed to 6 metres, which is, it's enough. 8 metres would have been great, but 6 metres will do. The wall that was originally on here, which was all green sheets, I've taken those off and transferred them out to here. I've still got a lot of finishing off to do on the shed, like the surrounds around the windows. Unfortunately, that window frame was nailed in to the original garage, and they'd used massive nails, 3-inch plus long nails. I just couldn't get them out. I had to use angle grinders and all sorts of things, and I had to pry this aluminium trim off to try and pull it out, so it's bent a little bit. But when my arm's back in action, I'll give that a little bit of a tap. Maybe put a couple of self-tapping screws in there just to clean it all up. But yeah, that what used to be the original wall of the original shed has now become the new wall of the new shed. All this will come out, so it'll be completely opened up. Give me a heap of room. I should be able to, if I'm good enough, probably only with the Chev, I should be able to drive the Chev from that garage, that existing garage, into this new garage, because she's a lot smaller than the Studebaker and the other car I got in there. But yeah, I can always just back it straight through the gap, so it doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to say is the garage is going to be open. I'm going to have a total width of 8 meters, and then 12 meters in the main section in length, and 6 meters in this new section. So heaps of room. I bought 5 new sheets there. This opening will actually have some barn doors on it. The garage came with barn doors. The reason I've had to buy these green sheets is because the original shed, sorry, not the original shed, the shed that I bought off eBay had 7-foot high sheets on it. On eBay it looked identical to what my garage was, which was 8 foot. But no, it turns out that they're 7 foot. So, as you can see up there, they don't go all the way to the top. So that's how much I'm short. So, what I've had to do with all the legs and everything is I've had to extend everything. But sacrificing 2 meters off the length of it gave me a few extra uprights to be able to cut up to do that. So everything's worked out really well. Came with all the wiring, so I've rerun all the wiring. I'll finish all that off when I get proper usage of my shoulder again. These front doors, which are over here, I need to add to the bottom of them. I need to add a foot. I'll take all the tin off the outside of them and put all the green tin on the outside. So when you're walking up the driveway and you look at the front of the new garage, you're going to see new tin. All the rest of it that's still in all that galvanized finish, I'm going to respray it all. All the roof as well is going to be all done, and I'll do the roof of this shed at the same time. So I've got a couple of little things around the property that I need to respray. I'll get that done all at the same time. Besides that, not much more to tell. I had the concreters come in last week to quote on pouring concrete for this area. So obviously everything inside the garage, then obviously up to this existing piece of concrete, and we're going to take it to this expansion joint here. So it'll run over to the corner there. We'll curve it so it looks nice. We won't run it straight, look a bit tacky if it was done straight, so we'll put a nice curve in there and get it all looking really good. And then I'm hoping by January, sometime in late January, which is still our summer here in Australia, my shoulder should be at a point where I've got a bit more mobility. So that's when I'll do all the wiring, finish all the wiring off, get all the doors on the front of it, and then start moving all the cabinets and workbench grinders, welders, compressors and everything out of this main garage and all into this garage. This is basically going to be the workshop now. The main garage is just going to be for the cars. So I don't know if the garage is open, but if it is, I'll give you a look and show you how it's all sitting at the moment. It's a bit of a mess because I just can't do anything at the moment. But there's my other classic car that was sitting under the carport. For those of you that know, I'm not going to give you a look at it. There's dozens of people that would like to come in and steal this, so I'm not going to show you what I got under there. Any of you that remember the Mad Max movies, or I think it was released as the Road Warrior in the States back in the very early 80s with Mel Gibson, the XB Coupe or XB Coupe that was in the movie, the black one. This is the same model as that, a couple of years newer. This is a 76 model. The one in the movie was a 73. This one was a Fairmont, so it's got all the jewelry on it. It's fully optioned. That's now in here. So yeah, this is going to live in here now. But all this cabinetry that you can see, welders, compressors, big tool cabinets down the back, these lockers, the workbench, all of this is going to be moved into this new section. Once I've got concrete in there, and this wall, this temporary wall, will be punched out. That center post will be cut out, and all this timber along the center will be that'll all be taken out too, and the timber along the floor. So it'll just be a continuous walkthrough. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to since June of last year, guys. You know, I was hoping to make these Studebaker things a weekly event or monthly event, but you know, things get in the way, and this is where we're at. But I promise you, next year there'll be a lot more footage. The Studebaker will be getting close to getting on the road by next year. Very next job I've got to do, as soon as the concrete goes in that garage and I'm able to, is the cabins coming off the chassis, or chassis, however you want to pronounce it. We all say it differently. So that'll be coming off. All the timber work will be coming out. All the steel, which I've now moved up there, we'll be replacing all that wood. And then just things like the air conditioning unit will get mounted in underneath the dash, and when that cabin is finished, it will go back onto the chassis, or chassis. Not that it sounds any different. And then the whole thing will get pushed out from underneath the carport and put into this new garage, where basically I'll finish it off. So that's about all I can tell you. Sorry if I've bored you to death, but you know, they're my videos. They're there if you want to watch them. You can like them if you like them. Give me a thumbs down if you don't. You can subscribe if you want, or you know, one guy called me a hack the other week. You know, he reckons my work is absolutely shit. Well, you know, screw him. You know, I've got a beautiful 29 Chev Roadster in there that everyone praises and comments and reckons it's an absolute beast for the time period in which it was built, and the fact that I had no real mechanical skills. The Studebaker's a hell of a lot better than that. In the way of engineering, it's a lot stronger. But yeah, he said, fucking go home, hillbilly, go back to your bush shack, your work's a mess, da-da-da-da-da-da, kept going on. And that's why I've had to change the title of my username on YouTube, because this guy was just hassling me. So as you will find out, for those that are subscribers to my channel, it's now T2T rather than Corey Baker. So yeah, enjoy. Hope you get something out of it. Cheers.